it's easy, you see. It's easy to feel like voting doesn't matter. It's easy. Between the media sensation, the frustrations, sometimes even gridlock, there's a constant tug of war. There are extremes, the tribalism. And so many Jamaicans have begun to tune out because the vitriolic nonsense have started. You've caught many people are caught wondering, what's the point? What's the point? I myself have gotten dragged into the malaise, the imbecilic nonsense. Yeah. Drunk some are indeed on the fumes of power, to the point where people are going to be coming up here and issuing threats. Sometimes you wonder why. Why am I involved? The truth is, voting is still one of the most powerful tools that shapes societies. It's a democracy. And so it's not about who is going to be prime minister. It's not about deciding whether Holness continues and whether or not Mark is given his first chance to be prime minister. What we are deciding is who is it that is going to continue to provide proper schools? Who is it that is going to continue to grow the economy? Who is it that is going to continue to improve health? Who is it that is going to continue to invest in the poor, in infrastructure, in lowering the debt, in giving Jamaicans a better life? It's not about just who is going to be prime minister for the next 5 years. It is who is it that is going to invest in the police? Who is it that is going to protect the rights of the Jamaican people? And on the other hand, it is who is it that is going to get a seat at the table where the powerful decisions are made. That's what you're voting for. Is that worth putting a little ink on your finger? And when you don't vote, you give that power away. When you don't participate, you surrender that power. To whom? To some people who they don't share your values. You surrender your power to a system that embraces your silence. And they take your silence to mean that you have consented. And why would you surrender your power, the power to vote, to a system that, quite frankly, likes that? Because the system of politics that we practice, in a sense, likes that you don't vote. Why? Because when you don't vote, there are less people And when there are less people, those people normally come from the masses, and from the masses, those people are transactional. They can be bought. We have to amplify our voice, and we have to keep the democracy evolving. Because the truth is, democracy works if we do. And your vote matters more than you think. Your voice matters. And your vote matters more than you think. Sometimes I know you get frustrated and impatient with the system, but your participation is needed now more than ever. Because casting a vote is deciding whether we go forward or we go back. And there are so many people in Jamaica now that are anxious. They're anxious because they're not sure what the future holds. It's decision time. When you look at social media and the misinformation, the propaganda, the lies, many people are wondering what is going to be the outcome of the next election. Well, you determine that. You listening to me there? You determine that. And your vote is a start. It is a start. It is the first step towards a better Jamaica. It is the beginning of how we enhance what we have got. And yes, the system may be frustrating. It may even feel like a broken system. But up and out don't fix that. What it does, it just let those who are loudest remain loud. And the most extreme voices, we leave them to speak for everyone else. Don't let people speak for you. Speak for yourself. Your vote is your power. And your presence at the ballot box matters. Because that which we aspire for don't happen because someone else takes care of it. It happens when we decide that we will. You have to show up. You have to speak up. You have to stay in the fight. You have to stay engaged. Because democracy only works if we do. And it is on all of us to make sure that the next government reflects the will of the Jamaican people. Your voice doesn't just matter. Your vote doesn't just matter. It could be the vote that decides whether Holness remains Prime Minister for the next 5 years, or Mark Golding is Prime Minister for the first time. Think about that as you contemplate whether to cast a ballot or not. We're coming right back. Call system. So we're going to be having a general election soon. And there are only two choices. I see the UIC. Is UCI or UIC? You know, putting themselves in the race. But I don't know that they're even going to be a spoiler. Either the Jamaica Labour Party or the People's National Party will be the government. So it's a choice between Andrew Holness or Mark Golding. It is a choice between either the Jamaica Labour Party or the People's National Party. The Jamaica Labour Party have been in government for the last 9 years. Previously, the PNP was in power for 4.5 years. Before that, the Labour Party was in power for 4 years. And before that, the PNP was in government for 18.5 years. Let's do the maths. 18.5 plus 4 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Let's give the PNP 23 years. And let's give that's since 1989. The PNP 23 years. The Labour Party 9 plus 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 14 years. So since 1989, 23 years for the PNP, 14 for the Jamaica Labour Party. You have history, you have facts. Go and look at it. What are the major accomplishments of the PNP for the 23 years? What are they? Comrades, tell me. What are the achievements of the People's National Party? I hear Mr. Crawford saying that if PJ should cut ribbons, well, the amount of ribbons he would cut, he wouldn't stop cutting ribbons. Am I saying that the PNP did nothing? I just can't remember. At one time, they said it was in the pipeline. Well, the pipeline was clogged. I don't know if it has yet been unclogged. We heard that Jamaica would have been pothole free before 2023. No. 2003. All now pothole there, Jamaica. Was it a party of promises? Not to mention that well, let me not knock them too hard. 23 years. 23 years, Garfman, is a long time. 23 years is a substantially long time. And one of the things that this election should do is to look at the record of the People's National Party in government. KC coming at 7 o'clock. Look at the record. The PNP needs to do it and compare it to the 4 years of JLP government, 2007 to 2011, and the 9 years from 2016 to now. Let us do the comparison. A comparative analysis needs to be done. Because then how do you say time come? Time come for what exactly? Hugh Richards, Diego, Pan-Africanists. Time come for what? What time come for? For what? I am not sure. Because the PNP's positioning itself as the party of change. Is the PNP saying that we need to change? Change what? Precisely. What do we need to change? Do we need to change Sparks and replace it with what? Do we need to change the trajectory for murder reduction and replace it with precisely what? Well, you have provided some clearer path as far as it relates to transportation for school children. You have said that we don't need to have the buses. We should replace that with Probox and add wagons. Well, we see that. I see Dr. Dawes saying that the health ministry or health minister is the worst. So then how do we replace it? No, you can't ask us to change and you don't tell us change to what? I'm being fair. You mean Bass? There's no Bass here. Because what you are suggesting is that Jamaica needs to go in a new direction. If Jamaica needs to go in a new direction, where is the direction? You know, if a man gets on a train and the train is going in the wrong direction, the longer he stays on the train, the worse his situation becomes, you know. If you're going in the wrong direction and you continue in that direction, then your situation is becoming worse. My friends from the PNP that are listening, what is the direction? What is the new direction that you are going to ask Jamaicans to go? Let's say you have convinced the majority of Jamaicans to accept your proposal. I'm a fair man. I'm trying to figure out where is the new direction. Where is the new direction for education? Where is the new direction for health? Where is the new direction for security? Where is the new direction for foreign affairs? Where is the new direction for social security? On the other hand, the Jamaica Labour Party is focusing on continuity. PNP says, change course, time come. The Labour Party says, no, No. Let's not change course at this time. I want to repeat that if you get on a train and you find out that the train is going in the wrong direction, the longer you stay on the train, the worse your problem becomes. The minute you find that the direction is wrong, get off. Stop the striking train and get off. You know, Portia Simpson Miller at one time said they're not changing any course. The old boss of the PNP, not changing course. Should Jamaica change course? Should Jamaica change course? The challenge is, if we are going to change course, we need a clearly defined course to decide. And sadly, we haven't gotten it yet. Because if changing course means that we must give up the buses for the children and go back to taxis, then sorry. No. The Jamaican economy grew by 1.1%. 1.3 or 1.1? How would you grow it to 3%? So you're positioning yourself as the party of change. But you've got two problems. You've got two problems. The first one is credibility. The second is consistency. And if you're going to ask people to believe in you and believe in the direction you want to go, you need to be credible and you need to be consistent. When I speak of credibility, I'm speaking about history. And sadly, this generation, the PNP's history, is not very impressive over the last 30 years. They have made some mistakes. And I believe that the PNP could begin to rebuild credibility with the Jamaican people by admitting that they have made some grave mistakes in government. KD Knight, Keith Knight, former Minister of National Security and Justice, former Minister of Foreign Affairs, in one of his closing Senate presentations, admitted that the PNP did not do well. Many Jamaicans suck salt through burning them belly. Yeah, you know, they kept voting for the PNP. They burned the belly because they believed in the PNP. That somehow the promises, the socialist ideology would have come to the fore and Jamaica would have seen transformation. And budget after budget after budget after budget, all we saw were taxes and taxes and taxes and taxes and taxes. You erred. To the point where Jamaica became one of the most indebted countries in the world. We were not only the murder capital, we were not only the murder capital of the world. El Salvador, we were rivaling El Salvador with murders. At one time, we were paying over $550 million per day for debt, for interest charges on our debts. And so when you look back, because if you're going to go forward, you have to look back. And when you look back, the record of the PNP is not very impressive. Mr. Crawford, not very impressive at all. Your own KD Knight said it. Ronnie Thwaites, talk show host, Minister of Education, a man who should know. He's a Rhodes Scholar, former member of Parliament, said that the greatest transfer of resources from the poor to the rich. Imagine that. If ever there was a statement, greatest transfer of resources from the poor to the rich occurred under the PNP since the abolition of slavery. What a man, what a statement. And I'm going to tell you something. I have my notes. The Don Anderson polls records that the poor people favors the PNP. A party that presided over the greatest transfer of resources. And I mean, say so, you know, from the poor to the rich since the abolition of slavery. That is a damning statement. If ever there was a damning statement made by a member of Parliament, a member of the PNP, Jesus Christ. Yet the people of Jamaica, the poor, favors the PNP. No, if that is not a curse, I don't know what is. Uno can't stand it. Uno can't stand it. Can't cross it. I will not go cross it. Garfman, credibility. I have Casey soon. I will have to shoot at wrap up shot. Consistency. Flip flop. Flip flop. can't position yourself as the agent of change when your history is bad. How you recover is you acknowledge that you have made mistakes. Because when you are not credible, when you are not consistent, then you lack character. People don't trust you. And so to regain the trust of the people, it begins with an acknowledgement of past sins. You have to go to the altar and repent and make the people know that, we made some mistakes. We acknowledge that these things were wrong, but we ask you to forgive us. Give us another chance. Because the vision remains unclear. Because we don't know yet what time comes really mean for Jamaica. There's a sense in which Choose Jamaica sounds like the better option. I'll admit that. But Choose Jamaica sounds like the better option at this time. But I'm watching a little more. I'm waiting for the detailed roadmap for Jamaica's development. Ultimately, the decision comes down to the Jamaican people. And I encourage the Jamaican people to weigh the options. Weigh the options and make the right choice. Because it can be frustrating, when the noise settles, the constant war, it's almost a perpetual war, when it all settles. Sometimes you wonder, is there any better hearing, any better barring? The truth is that you should not surrender your power. The power to shape your country. For too long, too many Jamaicans have surrendered this power. And when you surrender the power, who you think gets it? For as I said earlier, it is not about who becomes prime minister for the next 5 years. That's not the case here only. It is about economic growth. It is about debt. It is about national security. It's about education. It's about health. It's about social security. It's about housing. It's about values. It's about the future of your children and your grandchildren. It's more than just about Holness and Mark. Who are the better managers? Who is going to protect your rights? Who is going to give you an environment to thrive? We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, among them the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Who is going to secure your rights? Who is going to give you liberty? Who who is going to create an environment that you can pursue your happiness. It's about the police. It's about the nurses. It's about the teachers. It's about the business class, the business community. It's about garbage trucks. It's about roads and water and a clean environment. That's what your vote is about. And when you don't vote, you give that power away. You give it away to people who do not share your values. To people who can be bought. You give it away to a system that makes the assumption that your silence means consent. It is essential, my Jamaican brothers and sisters. We have a caller. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening. Good evening. 12 minutes after 7 o'clock. Hi.
Greetings.
Greetings, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well this evening. I just want to say keep up the good work. I know that they say that truth pressed to the earth must rise. Back in the days, here the truth comes to live and the lies come to die. And we must always try to, in the sense of good governance, for good governance to prevail, we have to debunk the lies. Because we see agents who are enemies of the state. Because there's no way you could love your country and you want to go back to a political party that has shown historically to lack the fiscal discipline and they're just inept. They have no legacy to campaign on. And even if you should not call any names, just speak of a time in history and look at the political climate, look at the economic climate, and say, I heard somebody ask today earlier about the Jamaica was in a housing crisis. And these are talking points that are out there where people saying, oh, but poor people can't afford the house. Let's talk about Operation Pride. If the government of the time was growing the economy and doing the conversation today about a final, because what we're seeing in real time is we're on the cusp of an economic explosion. Because what is gonna happen is most definitely. Look at it. I'm gonna do the connection for you. Most definitely. Look at the connection. Now, if you understand macro and microeconomic indicators of growth and development, those are just fancy terms. Those are just fancy terms where technocrats use. But essentially, what we're saying is the trade that the country takes place, however the country generates income, generates revenue, that is referred to macroeconomics. Then the little man on the ground is microeconomics. Additionally, you have an informal economy in microeconomy, but because that is not able to be measured, because you cannot collect taxes from the informal sector, they don't take that into consideration. So even speaking about the GDP to debt ratio, what a lot of people don't understand, the value of that is this. In this time, we no longer have to go to borrow money And they dictate, because the Bible said the borrower is a slave to the lender. When we use, what a day to be alive, what a time to be alive. We used to go to the IMF. I remember in the 90s, people were disinterested in politics because every year we hear rhetoric, we hear promises, and we never see it happen. We are living in a time like never before. It is the first time we have seen successive terms of government where the government say we're gonna grow our economy. And we actually grow the economy. The economy actually grew. It grew
Yes.
so much. It grew so much that regular people who never had roads for decades, they talk some 50 years, some 40 years, some 30, finally see road, water. People will never have water since them born, them late 30s and 40s, finally have some water. And then you have people who come and say there's no development taking place, time come. Now, I like to have meaningful conversations because as Jamaicans, once the election is over, we still have to live with each other. Because there's division.
Yeah, you have to wrap up.
You cannot be in the building.
You have to wrap up in 3 minutes now. I have.
Pardon?
Yes, sir.
Pardon me?
You have to wrap up in 3
Yes,
minutes.
man. Yes, man.
I have a forecast.
Yeah, man. No problem. No problem.
7:20.
No problem. I'm just want to make the point that we are now living in unprecedented times. If you check the history of Jamaica, I want to ask, when was the last time a leader of the People's National Party last time? Has it ever happened?
Yeah, well, that is not an individual thing, though, sir. It's a country thing. They have.
I know, but
I think they go
saying
around
somebody has
and,
selection.
yeah.
Somebody has to do a selection. I'm saying it's a selection process. It's not a.
To make us turn. I think both Goldie and were friends.
Molding was JLP, right?
Who's for? Yes.
Yeah. So the last time was PJ Patterson. And what happened? What was the vision? Well, a lot of people don't really follow that, as I say. But to wrap up, what I am saying to you, we have to debunk these lies. Meaningful conversations, nothing to invoke war and violence and crime, because we're moving away from that. We have a new hope. We have a new hope. People don't have to run to foreign now. People don't have to run away to beautiful paradise. We now have a new hope. We can raise children, and that is what is on the card come this election.
I have to thank you. Come back. You have to come back.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. What a fantastic caller that is. His contribution is very well received. He's kind of making the link between economy, economics, and current realities, and he speaks of the history. We're standing by to join KC Own Boss for tonight's forecast. Yeah, we're gonna ask him to rejoin us maybe tomorrow. Yeah. Caller, if you're listening to us, we'd love to carry you back maybe for about half an hour, so you can really tell us a little bit about what's on your mind. You say you like reasoning. Well, we'd like to have you back. Yeah, astute youth. send me a message. I'd love to book you for maybe a good half hour so we can have a chat. Yeah. Yeah, but just text me, inbox me your information.